Imagine your body is a vast city at night. Most buildings hum along, lights on, engines purring. But in the back alleys, a few factories have burned out. Their smoke is toxic, and worse, they refuse to close. Those broken factories are senescent cells, and they're the noisy reason some people age faster than others. Tonight we're opening the curtain on a revolution, the new science of reversing cellular aging. Ready, Alex?
Born ready. But tell me straight, are we talking baby back upgrade my DNA stuff or actionable reality I can actually understand?
Both. The science is astonishing, but it's not magic. It's stepwise, mechanistic, and increasingly translatable. We'll start at the foundation, what senescent cells are, why they matter, and how interventions like caloric restriction, Senolytics, and NAD restoration stack together to push cells back toward youth. Let's begin. Level 1. Understanding cellular senescence. Level 1 is the cornerstone, cellular senescence. Picture a worker who's burned out, retired, yet refuses to leave the factory. Instead of contributing, this worker shouts, spreads rumors, and spills toxic garbage. Senescent cells behave exactly like that. They no longer divide properly, they resist programmed death, and, critically, they secrete a cocktail called SASP, senescence-associated secretory phenotype.
So SASP is workplace gossip for cells?
Rude but apt. SASP contains inflammatory cytokines, proteases, and growth factors that dysregulate neighboring cells, trigger chronic inflammation, and impair tissue function. Over time, the burden of senescent cells accelerates tissue aging, shrinks regenerative capacity, and raises risk for diseases like fibrosis, osteoarthritis, and cardiovascular decline. Importantly, removing or neutralizing senescent cells has reversed signs of aging in animal models. That's the door we're walking through.
Level 2. Caloric restriction and longevity. Level 2 is almost poetic, caloric restriction. Not starvation, we mean modest, sustainable reduction in caloric intake while preserving nutrients. Across species, mild caloric restriction activates conserved longevity pathways. Why? Because when food is scarce, cells prioritize maintenance and repair over growth.
Maintenance and repair. That sounds like putting the city on an upkeep budget.
Perfect metaphor. Key players are the sirtuins, proteins that respond to energy status and regulate DNA repair, metabolic efficiency, and mitochondrial health. Caloric restriction also preserves telomere length, the protective caps on chromosomes that shorten with each division. Short telomeres trigger senescence. Long telomeres keep cells functional longer.
So fewer calories equals longer telomeres equals less cellular yelling?
In a simplified flowchart, yes. Human studies are more complex, but the signal is robust. Caloric moderation improves metabolic markers, insulin sensitivity, and markers of cellular health. Level 3. Senolytics, killing zombie cells. Level 3 is seductive. Senolytics, drugs or compounds that selectively eliminate senescent cells. Remember the zombie employees? Senolytics are precision contractors who remove the bad actors and leave the rest intact.
Are we talking lab-only stuff or things on shelves?
Both. Some senolytic candidates are experimental pharmaceuticals. Others are natural compounds with senolytic-like activity. Fisetin, a flavonoid in strawberries, and quercetin in onions and apples have shown senolytic action in preclinical models. When researchers intermittently cleared senescent cells in old mice, animals displayed improved physical function, reduced inflammation, and even extended health span.
So can I just eat a pound of strawberries and call it a day?
Tempting, but the biology is dose and context dependent. Clinical trials are refining effective regimens, often intermittent dosing to avoid off-target effects. The principle stands: targeted removal of senescent cells reduces their toxic SASP footprint and restores tissue function. Level 4. NAD+ and mitochondrial rescue. Level 4 addresses the cellular battery. NAD+, nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide. NAD+, fuels sirtuins, DNA repair processes, and mitochondrial function. It declines with age, and that decline correlates with decreased repair capacity and energy production.
So NAD+ is like the city power grid?
Yes, restoring NAD+ via precursors, like NMN or NR, has revived aged tissues in animal studies. Boosted NAD+ can improve mitochondrial efficiency, reduce oxidative stress, and enhance cellular resilience. While long-term human safety and optimal dosing remain under investigation, early trials show promise for energy, cognition, and metabolic health. Think of NAD plus restoration as recharging the repair tools that senescent cells sabotage.
Are there risks? Any too much battery problems?
Pragmatically, anything with biological effect carries risk. That's why interventions need thoughtful dosing and medical oversight.
Level 5. Stem cell revitalization. Level 5 is regenerative. Stem cell revitalization. Stem cells are the city's repair crews. They replace damaged infrastructure. With age, they decline in number and function. Reinvigorating stem cells restores regenerative capacity.
So how do we revive them? Coffee and pep talks?
Close, but with biotechnology. Strategies include ex vivo expansion, harvest, grow, reimplant, paracrine conditioning, exposing aged tissues to youth-associated factors, and microenvironmental modulation, improving the stem cell niche with targeted molecules. Exciting studies show that exposing old organisms to young systemic factors improves stem cell function. In humans, stem cell therapies are advancing for orthopedic, cardiac, and other repairs.
Is this close to mainstream medicine yet?
Some applications are clinical, many are experimental. The ethical and safety frameworks are evolving. But conceptually, if you can return competent stem cells to tissues, you increase structural repair and reduce the burden on neighboring cells. Level 6. Epigenetic reprogramming. Level 6 addresses the epigenome, the regulatory marks that tell your DNA when and how to be read. Your DNA letters don't change much with age, but the epigenetic marks that control gene expression do. Over decades, they drift, silencing repair genes and misfiring stress pathways. Epigenetic reprogramming aims to rewrite those marks.
So we don't change the code, we change the punctuation?
Exactly. The breakthrough came when scientists discovered that a set of transcription factors, famously the Yamanaka factors, OSKM, can erase epigenetic age in a cell and return it toward a more youthful state. In lab animals, partial reprogramming has restored tissue function and improved health markers. The remarkable finding: you can rejuvenate cells without changing their underlying identity if you control timing and dose. Level 7. Partial reprogramming. Building on Level 6, Level 7 is the hunt for partial reprogramming protocols that deliver rejuvenation without tumorigenesis. Think of it as a cellular tune-up. Remove epigenetic noise, restore youthful gene expression, but keep the cell's job intact.
How do they do that without pushing cells over the edge?
Different strategies: short duration pulses of reprogramming factors, engineered delivery systems that limit exposure, or drugs that mimic reprogramming effects on chromatin structure. In mice, intermittent expression of reprogramming factors improved organ function and extended lifespan in some models, importantly, without rampant cancer when carefully dosed. Level 8. Mitochondrial and metabolic repair. Level 8 returns to mitochondria, but now with advanced tools. We already discussed NAD plus restoration. Here we talk about targeted mitochondrial repair, improving mitochondrial DNA quality, enhancing mitophagy, the selective removal of damaged mitochondria, and boosting mitochondrial biogenesis.
Is this all pills and supplements?
Not just supplements. There are pharmacological and gene therapy approaches in development. Molecules that enhance mitophagy, cellular cleanup, engineered proteins that repair mitochondrial DNA, and metabolic reprogrammers that optimize substrate use. Level 9. Whole body rejuvenation trials. Level 9 is where the field gets systemic. Rather than one-off fixes, researchers are testing combination protocols: Senolytics to clear toxic cells, NAD plus boosters to recharge repair, epigenetic pulses to reset identity, and targeted stem cell therapies to rebuild structure. The idea: multimodal personalized regimens that address aging on several axes simultaneously.
Sounds like an orchestra coordinating many instruments.
Perfect metaphor. Level 10. Synthetic biology and the vision of cellular immortality. Level 10 is audacious. Synthetic biology, engineered cells, and the theoretical endgame of dramatically extending healthy human lifespan. Here we imagine designer circuits that detect cellular dysfunction and autonomously deploy repair, engineered stem cell factories, and even genome-level edits that confer resistance to senescence.
That sounds like science fiction.
Parts of it are. But synthetic biology already engineers bacteria to produce medicines and cells to act as sensors. The long-term vision: cells that self-monitor, clear their own damage, and maintain youthful function. This could include programmable telomere maintenance, regulated senolytic switches, or genetic circuits that enhance DNA repair on demand. We're in a renaissance in aging science. The last 20 years transformed biology from descriptive to actionable. Subscribe to Science Unlocked. Comment which level surprised you most. Share this with someone curious about the future of aging medicine.